Hidden beneath 1,000 years of jungle, something impossible was waiting. Not a temple, not a ruin, a city. The largest city on Earth before the Industrial Age, and almost no one knew it existed. Until now, for centuries, the world stared directly at Angkor Wat, completely blind to the truth. This magnificent stone monument was merely the epicenter of a sprawling, Los Angeles-sized megacity. At its 13th century peak, a staggering 900,000 people called this place home. Its population dwarfed modern-day Boston, rivaling ancient Rome at the height of its power. So how does a metropolis of nearly 1 million people simply vanish? The answer lies in the very materials they used to build their lives. Everyday Khmer homes, bustling markets, and grand royal palaces were constructed entirely from biodegradable wood and thatch. The jungle's relentless humidity consumed them centuries ago. Only the temples, built for the immortal gods, were crafted from enduring sandstone. The city of the living rotted away, leaving behind a deceptive, empty forest. The illusion held until 2012, when archaeologists strapped LiDAR lasers to helicopters, firing billions of light pulses through the dense canopy. Stripping away the vegetation digitally, they uncovered subtle earthen mounds, vast grid-like roads, and thousands of water ponds. The invisible city had finally been found. This was a sprawling, low-density agro-urban landscape covering over 1,000 square kilometers. A masterpiece of engineering hiding in plain sight. But a city of this magnitude doesn't just appear. Before the grand spires pierced the sky, this empire was forged in blood, chaos, and a single, theatrical ritual. The year is 802 CE. The region is a fractured tapestry of warring principalities, known to Chinese diplomats as Chenla. It is an era of constant, brutal conflict. From this political chaos emerges a visionary and ruthless leader, Jayavarman II. Returning from exile, he launches a relentless military campaign to subjugate the regional lords. He doesn't just want to conquer, he wants to unify. And to do that, he needs more than swords. He needs the power of the gods. Atop the misty plateau of Mahendra Parvata, known today as Phnom Kulen, Jayavarman orchestrates a masterstroke of political theater. A Brahmin priest steps forward, performing an elaborate Hindu ritual. He consecrates the king as Chakravartin, the universal monarch, the king of kings. This single ceremony institutes the Devaraja, the god-king cult. Jayavarman is no longer just a mortal ruler. He is the living embodiment of the Hindu god Shiva on earth. It is a declaration of absolute sovereignty, severing all ties to foreign powers. The blueprint for the empire is carved into a single stone stele that will survive a millennium. By intertwining royal power with divine mandate, Jayavarman forges a unified state. The Khmer Empire is born, and its kings are about to build on a scale the world has never seen. Fast forward to the early 12th century. King Suryavarman II commissions a project so staggering in its ambition, it defies the limits of ancient engineering. Angkor Wat, a state temple and capital city built in just 37 years. An astonishingly rapid timeline for a structure of this magnitude. To realize this vision, an estimated workforce of 300,000 laborers is mobilized. But human hands alone cannot move mountains. It takes an army of 6,000 elephants to haul the massive 1.5-ton stone blocks out of the jungle. Quarried from the sacred Mount Kulen 50 kilometers away, these stones are floated down a sophisticated network of canals on wooden rafts. In total, the complex requires up to 10 million sandstone blocks. The sheer volume of stone used in Angkor Wat is greater than all the Egyptian pyramids combined. Beyond its physical scale, it is a profound cosmological masterpiece. It is an earthly replica of Mount Meru, the mythical home of the Hindu gods. Its 5 central towers represent the mountain's peaks, while the vast surrounding moat symbolizes the cosmic ocean. But there is a dark anomaly in its design. Unlike typical Khmer temples that face east, Angkor Wat is uniquely oriented to the west. The direction of the setting sun. The direction of death. Scholars believe this orientation means the temple also served as Suryavarman's personal mausoleum. A massive tomb functioning as a giant astronomical calendar. During the spring equinox, the architecture aligns perfectly with the heavens. The sun rises exactly over the pinnacle of the central lotus tower. While Angkor Wat is the crown jewel, deeper within the jungle lies an even more surreal architectural marvel. The Bayon Temple, built around 1190 AD, constructed by King Jayavarman VII, the Bayon originally featured 54 Gothic towers. Adorning them are 216 colossal, serenely smiling stone faces. Gazing in the 4 cardinal directions, these enigmatic visages projected the God King's divine authority. An ancient system of mass surveillance across the empire's 54 provinces. A short distance away lies Top Prom, consecrated in 1186 as a Buddhist monastery. Here, the jungle has won. Unlike other monuments, archaeologists intentionally left Top Prom in the grip of the forest. Gargantuan, silvery roots of silk cotton trees spill like liquid over the mortarless walls. The creeping tendrils of strangler figs are locked in a centuries-old embrace, simultaneously crushing and supporting the ancient ruins in a delicate balance. But the pinnacle of Khmer narrative art is carved directly into the walls of Angkor Wat. A sprawling 150-meter-long comic book in stone. It is the churning of the ocean of milk. Gods and demons, frozen in stone, play a cosmic game of tug-of-war with a giant serpent. They churn the cosmic ocean to extract the elixir of immortality. A breathtaking, cinematic testament to an empire's ambition. But who actually built all this? While the God Kings obsessed over immortality, the daily life of 1 million residents was defined by dirt, sweat, and strict social order. Much of what we know comes from Zhou Daguan, a Chinese diplomat who lived in Angkor in 1296. He documented a world of rigid hierarchy. Housing physically reflected your status. Commoners lived in simple bamboo houses with thatched roofs. By law, tiled roofs were strictly reserved for officials and the elite. But the true beating heart of the city was the market. And surprisingly, the economy of the largest city on earth was run almost entirely by women. Every morning from 6 a.m., female vendors laid out woven mats to sell their wares. Despite its immense wealth, the empire never used paper currency. Transactions were purely bartered. Rice and grains were the true currency, exchanged for local fish, imported Chinese ceramics, and fine silk. This massive population survived on a sophisticated hydraulic network. Giant reservoirs, known as barrays, held billions of liters of water. This advanced engineering allowed farmers to harvest rice up to 4 times a year. A staggering agricultural surplus that fed the hundreds of thousands of artisans and priests. Water was the lifeblood of Angkor. But what happens when the very thing that sustains an empire turns against it? For centuries, historians blamed a sudden foreign invasion for Angkor's collapse. But modern science reveals a far more terrifying truth. Deep in the Vietnamese highlands, dendrochronologists studied the rings of ancient cypress trees, unlocking 759 years of hidden climate data. The tree rings prove that Angkor wasn't just conquered. It was strangled by extreme climate change. In the 14th and 15th centuries, the city was crippled by 2 severe megadroughts. Decades without proper rain. The massive canals silted up. The crops failed, But the true devastation came when the drought suddenly broke. Years of bone-dry conditions were violently punctuated by extraordinarily intense monsoons. The sudden deluge of water overwhelmed the silt-choked canals. The flooding physically tore apart spillways, permanently destroying the city's inflexible hydraulic infrastructure.